Your Excellency the President, Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe, Your Excellency Dr. JAISHANKAR, Minister of External Affairs of India, friends from the media. As you all know, it has been a great pleasure for us to welcome Dr. JAISHANKAR, Minister of External Affairs of India, and on official visit to Sri Lanka since yesterday. Dr. JAISHANKAR is no stranger to Sri Lanka. He was posted as a young diplomat in Colombo from 1988 to 1990, and most recently visited Sri Lanka last year in his capacity as the Minister of External Affairs when Sri Lanka hosted BIMSTEC ministerial meeting. During the current visit, Dr. JAISHANKAR and I have had the opportunity yesterday to hold bilateral discussion on a broad range of matters. This morning, Dr. JAISHANKAR called on His Excellency President Ranil Wickremesinghe the most serious economic crisis we have ever experienced. It is no exaggeration to say that it was for the most part due to the enormous support amounting to $4 billion worth of credit line provided by India for the import of essential goods as well as other in-kind humanitarian assistance that we were able to regain some measure of economic and financial stability. For this, on behalf of the President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the government and the people of Sri Lanka, I convey our profound gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Indian government, to you, Dr. JAISHANKAR, and the people of India. It is against this background that Dr. JAISHANKAR visits take place at this crucial moment. We are all aware that Sri Lanka is at a decisive moment in discussion with the IMF. In order to place our economy on path of IMF-assisted recovery, we needed the timely assurances from our creditors. Once again, India has extended its hand in support of the first country to officially back our debt restructuring program by conveying financial assurances to the International Monetary Fund. Dr. JAISHANKAR, we are profoundly grateful to India for once again demonstrating your confidence in and solidarity with Sri Lanka. On the areas of bilateral cooperation, a number of important initiatives were concluded in the presence of His Excellency here at the Presidential Secretariat this morning. This includes signing off an MOU on Indian grant assistance for implementation of high-impact community development projects, which mainly focuses on socio-economic development infrastructure in education, health, and community development sectors. Minister JAISHANKAR also participated in 3 virtual inauguration ceremonies. One was to hand over the Kandyan Dancing Academy under the Sri Dalada Maligawa Heritage Project. The second was to hand over 24 houses each in Anuradhapura and Badulla district under the Model Housing Village project. And the third virtual opening was to hand over 300 houses under Phase 3 of Indian Housing Project, 100 houses in each in Kandy, Nuwara and Galle district. In addition to the above, during our bilateral discussion, we have explored the possibilities of further collaboration in the coming years as Sri Lanka hopes to recover and grow. The long-standing bilateral relationship between Sri Lanka and India are based on cultural and historical links, shared values, and growing economic connection. It is widely accepted that India will be soon, or otherwise already is one of the largest and fastest growing economies. India's largest source of tourists to Sri Lanka. We believe that India's growth will be beneficial to the region as well as to Sri Lanka. For its part, Sri Lanka is confident to recover from the current crisis with the goodwill and partnership of India for mutual benefit. We are watching India's economic success and international prestige with great admiration. India has recently taken over the chairmanship of G20. We have noticed with respect also the intellectual impetus in favor of the global south that Prime Minister Modi and yourself, Dr. JAISHANKAR, personally have infused into the international agendas. Dr. JAISHANKAR, I take this opportunity to thank you once again for your visit to Sri Lanka and for all the support that you continue to extend to my country. I now give the floor to Honorable Minister Dr. Jaishankar.
Thank you. Your Excellency, President of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, Your Excellency, Foreign Minister Ali Sabri, friends of the media, dear colleagues. First of all, let me say what a great pleasure it is to be back in Colombo. I thank you, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, for receiving me today. We've had a very good discussion that follows up on my meeting with my counterpart and other Sri Lankan ministers yesterday evening. My primary purpose of coming to Colombo at this time is to express India's solidarity with Sri Lanka during these difficult moments. As you all know, last year India extended about $4 billion in terms of credits and rollovers to help Sri Lanka get through an economic crisis. For us, it was an issue of neighborhood first and not leaving a partner to fend for themselves. This year, in a developing situation that was beginning to cause concern, the same sentiment reasserted itself. We felt strongly that Sri Lanka's creditors must take proactive steps to facilitate its recovery. India decided not to wait on others, but to do what we believe is right. We extended financing assurances to the IMF to clear the way for Sri Lanka to move forward. Our expectation is that this will not only strengthen Sri Lanka's position, but ensure that all bilateral creditors are dealt with equally. While doing that, we also know that Sri Lanka's pathway is one of a strong economic recovery propelled by greater investments. Here too, I have a clear message that I will be sharing with the business community. India will encourage greater investments in the Sri Lankan economy, especially in core areas like energy, tourism, and infrastructure. We count on the government of Sri Lanka to provide a more business-friendly environment to create a powerful pull factor. I am confident that the gravity of the situation is realized by policymakers here. Energy security is today one of Sri Lanka's most serious challenges. A search for solutions must necessarily encompass the larger region. Only then will Sri Lanka get the full benefit of scale. This country has enormous renewable energy potential that can become a sustainable source of revenue. It has the capability as well for Trincomalee to emerge as an energy hub. In its support for Sri Lanka, India is prepared to be a reliable partner on such initiatives. We have today agreed in principle on a renewable energy framework that would take this cooperation forward. Tourism is the lifeblood of the Sri Lankan economy. I note that Indian tourists are expressing their positive sentiments for Sri Lanka in a very, very practical manner by coming here. But there are many more steps we can take to make this sustainable. Strengthening connectivity and promoting travel is therefore a very high priority for all of us. Definitely, encouraging Indian tourists to make RuPay payments and utilize the UPI would be most helpful in this regard. In a turbulent world, it is essential that India and Sri Lanka steady their trade. The use of rupee settlement for trade is obviously in our mutual interest. Friends, India has always supported both the political and economic stability of Sri Lanka. The President briefed me on the question of political devolution and his thinking. I shared with him our considered view that the full implementation of the 13th Amendment and early conduct of provincial elections are critical in this regard. Durable efforts towards reconciliation are in the interests of all sections in Sri Lanka. I also spoke of the need to pay special attention to the requirements of the Indian origin Tamil community. I handed over Prime Minister Narendra Modi's invitation to President Ranil Wickremesinghe to visit India at an early date to discuss how our partnership can facilitate Sri Lanka's strong recovery. I once again thank the President for receiving me. I would like to underline that India is a reliable neighbor, a trustworthy partner, one who is prepared to go the extra mile when Sri Lanka feels the need. My presence here today is a statement about Prime Minister Modi's commitment to neighborhood first. We will stand by Sri Lanka in this hour of need and are confident that Sri Lanka will overcome the challenges that it currently faces. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.